Yo, what is up, legends? We're back with a new episode where we're doing a full scan of all the nonsense happening on our screens. Today, we're talking about the system trying to program our brains with a distorted version of reality. This isn't just a random lie. It's a malware injected into global media to delete any truth that doesn't please the real operator. Ever noticed how when you turn on global news, it feels like watching a repetitive play? The anchor is posh, the tone is calm, and the words are polished. But if you look closer, you'll realize they're running on autofill. They ask the same questions and use the same phrases, as if they received a manual from a single command room. That's not journalism. It's a cleaning operation to scrub the crime scene before the investigator arrives.
Imagine being in a hospital where a surgeon is operating on an aggressor while leaving the victim bleeding in the hallway. When you ask him why, he coolly says, "I diagnose based on the budget." That's exactly what the media does. They have selective blindness. They see a scratch on the oppressor's hand as a global medical crisis, while our bleeding wounds are treated as side effects or just the cost of existence.
And the funniest part? They try to convince you that the occupier is the one suffering from anxiety, while the indigenous owner whose house was bombed is the threat. This is the ultimate role reversal in history. It's like bringing a virus and letting it complain about the immune system, demanding the world protect it. We've reached a level of brain-insulting nonsense that we can no longer ignore.
Now let's step into the kitchen and see how this rotten meal is prepped.
Social media giants aren't just platforms anymore. They're accomplices. Their system runs on a weird filter. Post a picture of a sick kitten and it reaches China. But post a clip of a real-life crime, suddenly your account falls into a digital coma and you're hit with a heavy shadow ban. The algorithm has an allergy to the truth, as if it's programmed to treat any word about justice as a virus that must be quarantined immediately.
And it's not just technical, it's legal thuggery at its peak. The Western world won't stop lecturing us about international law, but reality is this law is just elastic, shaped to fit the strongest. When interests are threatened, the law turns into an artillery strike, destroying any dissenter. But when the victim is Palestinian, suddenly the law goes blind, and international courts turn into a circus whose only job is to delay justice until the crime is successfully completed. Their system is like a gang that robs your house, then complains to the judge because you raised your voice and disturbed the neighbors while trying to protect your kids. This isn't justice, it's cartel logic. The strong write the Constitution, and the weak must stay silent so as not to disturb the regional peace. The truth is, they're terrified of the document and the image because they know the evidence folder held by our youngest child is enough to wipe the prestige of their world order out of existence.
Now, let's talk about the crash that ruined their whole system. They invested billions in mind engineering and brought in crisis management experts to recycle the lie and give it a fresh look. But what they didn't count on is that the truth has a powerful immune system. No matter how much propaganda venom you inject into the digital space, people now have natural antibodies. The new generation is automatically doing a refuse on every piece of information coming from their canned channels.
Imagine the effort they put in to sterilize the scene, wiping away the blood, hiding the rubble, and changing the terminology. But reality is stubborn and refuses to be edited. When a Palestinian kid starts a live stream from the heart of the siege, he's effectively performing a bypass on every editing room in London and New York. A single 10-second video has become more powerful than a media bomb they spent a fortune on. They are currently in a state of system failure because their old catalog no longer runs on the hardware of conscious minds. It's become a war of attrition between a massive machine and a phone lens. The result? The machine is starting to smoke and glitch. Why? Because they're trying to sell an illusion to people who are starting to realize their taxes are funding war crimes instead of healthcare and education. This contradiction is what's causing a short circuit in their narrative. They are now facing an enemy they can't bomb with missiles. It's awareness, spreading like wildfire and breaking the code of deception forever.
In the end, Legends, the system they spent billions on to program the world has one bug they couldn't fix: the truth. They can buy an influencer's soul. They can book a slot in the Times, but they can never update the conscience of an entire generation that watched the crime via live stream. The game is over. The curtain they were hiding behind has fallen, and they are now exposed under the sun.
So, fam, let them continue their media circus, and let them hand out their canned scripts to the NPCs. The truth has become undeletable data, and every shadow ban attempt is actually an admission of defeat. Today, the camera in a child's hand is the nuclear weapon that terrified the Hasbara empire, making them look like a clown trying to hide the sun with a sieve. Basically, the truth just performed an uninstall on the minds of the free. The new generation is now holding the control panel, and our script says the land remains, and propaganda belongs in the trash. Stay woke, stay offline from their failing system, and never stop exposing the glitches. See you in the next one, and peace.